meeting, put it on stun, try not to have too loud of a secondary conversation in the audience. So with that, I will call the meeting to order. I'll go ahead and lead us in the pledge. I think I've done that for a while, so if you all will follow along, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball. Not last night. I went to the Braves game. First time I've been in 2 years and it got rained out.
Oh man, bummer.
That was.
No justice.
Go all the way over there.
Go all the way over there. Delta seats. Yeah, right in front. It's nice to have friends with good tickets. All right. So, do we have an auditor here to give the presentation?
We do not.
We do not. So, the first item on the agenda then is announcements. We have the 2020 annual audit results, which are right here. I can just start reading.
Please don't.
I apologize, Mayor. He is not in the room at this moment.
Okay. All right. Well, without objection to council, we'll start going through the items on the agenda, and when the individual's here, if you just somebody throw a rotten tomato at me or something to get my attention. All right. So we'll move on. Hearing no objection to reordering the agenda, the staff action items we have city clerk. One, we have the approval of minutes from the city council public hearing and work session of June 10th.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve the minutes of June 10th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion second to approve as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? That passes unanimously. Next item, we have city council regular meeting of June 15.
Motion to approve the minutes from the regular council meeting June 15th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. We have a motion second to approve as submitted. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. The next item we have is City Council public hearing of June 17, 2021.
Motion to approve the minutes from the City Council special call meeting.
The next item we have City Council public hearing of June 24th, 2021.
Motion to approve the minutes from the meeting on June 24, 2021 at 9 a.m. in the morning as submitted.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion second to approve the minutes as submitted. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. And one more under the minutes, we have the City Council called meeting of June 24th, 2021.
A motion to approve the minutes from the City Council called meeting on June 24th, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. as submitted.
Second.
Very good. Motion and second to approve the minutes as submitted. Any discussion? No. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. Are we good to go, John?
I believe so.
All right. We will go back up then now our announcements and presentations, and we will hear about the 2020 annual audit results.
Good evening, and sorry for running a little late.
It's okay.
Hopefully you had a chance to kind of look at the financial statements and the auditor's discussion and analysis. Sorry. And but we're just kind of touch on some of the highlights. If you have any questions as I'm going through, just stop and ask.
Great. Thank you.
All right. All right. So if you can go to page 2. Just an update about Auditor Jenkins. We now have those additional in the firm representing about 20 audited over 550 governments, and that includes about 135 cities. Next slide. Again, my name is Doug. 22 years of this year I had Meredith Lipson to do the quality assurance review. She has 30 years of experience, and Josh Carroll was the engagement director, and then we also had about 2, either 3 other staff on the engagement. Next slide. As far as the financial statements are the responsibility of the governing body and management. Our responsibility is to give an opinion on the statements, and we've issued an unmodified or a clean opinion, and again, that's what you would hope to get. We also had to do a single audit here, and we've issued an unmodified opinion on the single audit program, which we audited the coronavirus relief funds, which was considered a major program. And again, the city received about $3.4 million in those funds, which was passed through from DeKalb County. And this makes the 6th year or the 7th year that you all have done a comprehensive annual financial report. You did get the award for the prior year's CAFR, And again, hats off for participating in that program. Next page, next one. As far as our relationship with management, we received full cooperation from management, staff, and others. There was no disagreement with management on accounting issues or any financial reporting matters. We did have some audit adjustments, but none were deemed significant enough to be cited as a finding. And there were no past audit adjustments, meaning that anything that came to our attention, we did post those entries that are reflected in your financial statements. Next slide. As far as our independence, we are independent of the city and its financial reporting process, including your component unit. In accordance with AICPA professional standards, there are no fees paid to Martin Jenkins for any type of management advisory services that would have impacted our independence as your external independent auditor. Next slide. All right, so the next few slides going to go over some financial trends. This one is looking at your governmental or your government-wide net position for your governmental activities and business type activities over the last 5 years. And as you can see, your governmental activities is continuing to grow, going from about $33.5 million in 2016 to $45.3 million in 2019, and all the way up to $49.5 million in 2020. So that's pretty good. Now your net position for your business type activities pretty much remained flat over the last 2 years, coming in at about $5.6 million. Next slide. This slide is looking at your fund balances for the last 5 years for your general fund and then your other governmental funds. And it continues to grow from $15.7 million in 2020. Pretty strong. Other government 28.19.8 million, which was expected. Most of that your capital outlays pertaining to construction in progress at that time for the new public safety building, sidewalks, and street, and then renovations on and park. Looking at your total expenditures, see about 2-3, but for December, it needs to be taxes, which we use for the next calendar year. The last 5 years, 2020 had that percentage coming in at 89% or 10.7 months reserve. So that's pretty good, and that's what we want to be for a December year in government. Next slide. We did have 3 management points or management recommendations. This one I think we cited last year. We kind of started putting this in a lot of our clients as a recommendation for IT and cybersecurity. We just recommend the city continue to investigate and consider implementation of a cybersecurity risk management program. Security risk, of course, use of strong passwords, audit security measures, and then monitoring and testing of controls in place. We just started a couple of years ago. We have an IT cybersecurity practice, and they can do from large scale to small scale penetration of testing just to make sure that your system is strong. And so that's something that you can consider having done. The second management point, we want entry approval. During our review of 25 manual journal entries for fiscal year 2020, we noted 13 out of the 25 journal entries didn't have proper approval. And this occurred during the pandemic, those 3 months from March to May, where people was working remotely, what have you. So again, we did notice that exception during that period of the pandemic. Next slide. Old outstanding checks pertaining to the court bond account. We noticed about 31 checks that have been outstanding for at least 5 years that total about $5,000. Again, a very small amount, but we need to make sure we're following the escheat rules of the state of Georgia. So if you've made every effort to contact these individuals. Next slide. We did have one compliance finding pertaining to a balanced budget. You had budgeted expenditures greater than budgeted revenues and not enough available fund balance expenditures over revenues by the tune of about $82,000. So I just need to make sure that all of the budgets are balanced. Next slide. We did implement GASB 84, which deals with fiduciary activities. And basically, what you'll see in your statements compared to the prior year for your municipal court fund, in prior reports, that fund showed like a balance sheet, assets and liabilities. Now, in the 2020 statements, you'll see like an income statement. So it'll show additions and deductions in the position. So, so that's the difference for this year's statements compared to prior year with the implementation of that standard. Next slide. New standards that are coming out that we'd like to keep our clients abreast of. Go on to the next slide. Next slide. We do have a government advisory service practice. Again, you know, one of my other clients actually had a citywide operational audit done, and management were very happy that that was done, as well as the mayor and council. We're actually doing the second phase of that project. That practice is led by David Roberts. So again, that's some additional services that we provide other than the financial and compliance audit. And then the very last slide. Next one. And then we continue to offer free continuing education classes to our clients. With the pandemic being in place, we've had those classes taught virtually. So again, you can have earn up to like 28 hours of CPU credit in a given year, and so your staff have participated in those classes. And so again, it's free of charge for our clients. So that concludes my presentation. I can address any questions you all may have at this time. But any questions?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you define what escheated means?
Yes. So over to the state.
We appreciate your
All right, thank you all.
All right, moving right along. We are down to staff action items under city manager. The first one on there is the traffic calming program.
Motion to adopt the amended traffic calming program as presented by staff.
Second.
Oh,
That was a tie.
that was absolutely, but ladies.
I goes to the
I think that was strongly.
Yeah. We'll say Leslie had the second on that one. So we have a motion to adopt the traffic calming program as it has been amended and submitted to the council. Any discussion? All those in favor? That passes unanimously. The next item is traffic and safety improvements.
Motion to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with FH Passion to construct the traffic improvements at Pierce Drive and Chamblee, Dunwoody, and Johnson Ferry mid-block crossing with a cost not to exceed $120,000.
Second.
Very good. Is there any discussion? So we have a motion and second then to approve the traffic and safety improvements as Leslie has stated with a cost not to exceed what she pointed out. All those in favor? And that passes unanimously. The next item is licensing consulting services.
Motion to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with management partners to provide consulting services for alcohol licenses, massage spa licenses, and occupational tax certificates.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item? So it is my microphone that's making that.
We have multiple ones.
I don't know what's going on with it. All right, so motion is second to approve the licensing consulting services as stated by Leslie. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. All right. Man. All right. Next item under staff action items is development department. The first item we have is 2197 Urbandale Drive.
Motion to approve the following variance from Chapter 4 of the PUD pattern book to be permitted to allow a ground sign monument sign between the building and the street, with the staff recommended, following the staff recommended exhibits and conditions, the shined up sign, it's not a shine, the sign shall be constructed in substantial conformity with the sign concept in Exhibit A, site plan and renderings. Date received May 20, 2021, with revisions required by conditions approval as reviewed and approved by the Planning and Development Director.
Second.
Wait a minute, one more. The sign shall be set back a minimum of 3 feet, and further, if site constraints allow, from the back edge of the public sidewalk, per the review and approval of the Planning and Development Director. That is my motion.
I will second now.
Very good. Do we have discussion on this item? All right, so we have a motion and a second then to approve the sign variance at Urbandale Drive with conditions, et cetera, as laid out by Leslie. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. Next item we have is still under Development Department. It's 2730 Shallowford Road.
Make a motion to defer this item to the August work session.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir. I'd like to note that I'd like the applicant to use this time to make a good faith effort to meet and work with the neighborhood to see if you can come up with a consensus.
Any other discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second then to defer the item, the field light variance at Shallowford Road to the August work session, and also an ask from Councilmember Mock that the applicant work with the neighbors. All those in favor? That passes unanimously, so that will move forward to the August work session then. The next item is 5900 Peachtree Boulevard. There's flagged variances. There's 2 separate variances.
I'm turning on my microphone. It's turned off again.
Thanks for that.
Well, I don't know why there was silence. Motion to approve variance number 1 with the following condition: to allow the maximum 216 square foot flag. This is the at Jim Ellis Chevrolet, and to deny variance number 2.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item? All right, so we have a motion then with a second to approve variance 1 with the conditions as Councilmember John pointed out, as well as the denial of the second variance. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. The next item is 4966 Buford Highway Streetscape.
Make a motion to approve with the condition that the applicant work with staff on a landscape implementation plan for the front and side of their building. Second.
Second.
Oh, let it in there.
Yes, you did.
All right, so
Yes, sir. So just to be clear, as I drove the property, there's several islands. There's a couple on the side of the building. There's a couple on the front. Those have trees, 2 trees in each island. Those trees appear to be in bad shape. They're diseased. So I would ask that you look at those and see what needs to be replaced and see how you can dress it up with additional landscape. Okay.
very good. Any other discussion?
No.
Very good. We have a motion saying then to approve the streetscape variance for 4966 Buford Highway with the condition that the applicant work with the staff as conditioned by Councilmember Bryan. All those in favor? Good job, guys. All right, Police Department, Parks and Rec, F for Finance, Public Works, Economic Development. Woo! I guess Community Engagement Department, Chamblee Nonprofit Partnership Program.
Motion to approve the implementation of a Chamblee nonprofit partnership program funded with the $150,000 approved during the March City Council regular meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, motion and a second then to approve the Chamblee Nonprofit Partnership Program as stated by Councilwoman Leslie. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. All right, one more under Community Engagement Department. We have approval of PAC recommendation for mural location.
Motion to approve the PAC recommendation for mural location, which by the way is on the wall at the existing city hall. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm correct.
Are we sure? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Do we need to discuss it? I do believe it was on the existing city hall. All right, motion second then to, for the approval of the PAC recommendation for a mural location, which happens to be at the current city hall. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. Boards, authorities, and committees. I think we were possibly going to hear from the Downtown Development Authority update, but is there anyone here?
No conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest.
Conflict.
I was going to say, that's kind of odd. Scheduling conflict, maybe?
Conflict,
Or a conflict of interest. I mean, seriously, I think it's a conflict of interest every time we come in this room. That's good. Okay, so we will not hear from them this month, possibly next month. They are also all very available to talk to if you want to reach out to them. Hey, Joe.
Yes, Mayor, you ready?
We've got first reading of one ordinance, the UDO amendment.
Yes, Mayor, that's an ordinance to amend Title III, Development and Permitting, specifically Article 5 and Article 6. Article 5 concerns mandatory connections to public sanitary sewer. Private sewage disposal facilities, you're not allowed to have those. Not public sanitary sewer, there are ways around that, I guess. And then there's Section 5 for sewer construction and assessments and special septic tank to sewer conversion tax district. Article 6 concerns potable water, prohibitions for waste which are unreasonable, and also exceptions such as firefighting equipment, water applied to prevent a health safety nuisance, something like that. That is the first reading.
Very good. Thank you, Joe. I believe we don't have any second reads. I made the mistake on Thursday to say that the item number 3, but we do have another item still under city attorney, which is the exchange of abandoned right-of-way at Catalina Drive in Coronado Place.
Right. I'll call on Councilmember Mock at the appropriate time to make a motion about this, because state law requires that the council approve those appraisals that are being exchanged. We're going to be exchanging some of our it's kind of convoluted. NCP, an entity, owns 4 tracts of land and some lots at this point. The city owns the right-of-ways at Catalina and Coronado. NCP has a contract to sell 28 acres over there in that area to another developer called 7 Oaks. 7 Oaks is going to assign its interest in the sales agreement with NCP to SFG. These are the initials, the real initials of these companies. And then SFG will actually develop the property. But as a prerequisite to the issuance of a land disturbance permit, NCP must acquire the city-owned property first and then convey it to SFG. 7 Oaks and SFG have agreed to dedicate to the city certain property, which is called the dedication property in these documents. I believe you were previously provided with information as to values based on appraisals of the dedication property as well as the property we're abandoning. The dedication property that the city would get is $1,275,000 value. The abandoned property was appraised at $730,000. We will need a motion to approve those values so that we can move forward with the exchange agreement. We have an exchange agreement and we have deeds quitclaiming to NCP, and they will be issuing a limited warranty deed to us, which will be held in escrow for a period of time because lenders will not allow this deal to go through if they've already given away a bunch of property.
Got it.
So, Brian.
Okay, then I would move for the approval of the value of $1,282,603 for parcels cumulatively totaling 4.338 acres, valued at $638,800, currently owned by NCP Fund 1, as well as infrastructure improvements of $643,804 as determined by an appraisal prepared by Colliers International and submitted in an appraisal report dated May the 19th, 2021, which acreage and improvements will be deeded to the city of Chamblee in exchange for 2.589 acres owned by the city of Chamblee and valued at $729,742 as determined by the aforesaid appraisal. I request that the city clerk attach the legal descriptions of these properties to the minutes of this meeting. The purpose of this approval is exchange of real property, CP Fund, which property is equal or greater value than property given by the city of Chamblee. That is all.
Second.
Is there any discussion of this item? All right, great. We have a motion and a second then to approve the exchange of abandoned right-of-way, County Drive and Coronado Place with the conditions, etc., as read by Councilmember Mock. All those in favor? That passed unanimously. All right, next page. Mayor and Council, everybody gets a great big star for not putting anything on the agenda. Citizen comments, 3 minutes. You can make your way up to the microphone, give us your name, where you live, tell us what's on your mind.
Hi, City Council. Christopher Hunt, 1920 Anastasia Lane. If you remember, I was here last time because I'm still dealing with a sidewalk issue where on the Brookhaven side of Chamblee Dunwoody, they've got 2 code, very nice sidewalks, never an issue. On my side, we still have the same problem. And I was pretty strong last time when I got like, let's move on. And so I'm following through with that. What I'm going to share with you is that finally the police did come out when they were told not to before, and when one of the city inspectors refused to come out when the cab was there sidewalk from the water break because the contractor guys did it wrong and actually listened to me because I'm an expert. I've developed it all my life. Instead of putting a saddle on this pipe, you should have put a coupling so it wouldn't break, and they did it. And they said, look, if Chamblee tells us we will take up all this sidewalk here that was put in improperly, not to code. And I went, did an errand and came back, and they said, well, she came. And they said, they told us not to do it. What the hell? And so everybody was willing to do it. Finally, this time, and then the police wouldn't come out, so I went down to the code where I've met with them politely and have a good relationship with them, and I was in this, and they refused to come out and talk with me. And I'm working on my email to them, giving all the facts and the photos, and the police show up, say, what are you doing here? I'm writing an email, why? And they have to call the police when I'm trying to get this thing solved. Well, you've got neighbors who are going to suffer damages of $50,000. I'm out there at Easter Sunday in the rain because I know how to fix things, diverting it all. Now, if you drive up Chamblee, you'll see all the bags and the cones and everything, and it doesn't need to be like that. So, since I said last time, and I was kind of rudely cut off, like no big deal, I said I need to have an email when you're going to get this thing fixed. I didn't get it. We're going to de-annex. I'm going to get everybody on our side of Chamblee Dunwoody Road all the way up and down, and we're going to de-annex. I've already looked into it legally, and we're just not going to put up with it anymore. And so, let's get this fixed, and before and we're just going to de-annex and go over to Brookhaven. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Anyone else? Please, yeah, come on up.
I just couldn't follow part of what you were doing. I had emailed you all with the.
Just
My name is Shannon Fowler.
Yeah.
I'm in the Rosewood side.
Okay.
And I had hoped that you would not approve the flagpole, but I couldn't follow what was going on. You were going really fast. Did you approve the 80-foot flagpole or not?
not.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
One other issue.
No, sir. You had your time. Thank you.
This is a separate issue.
You get one chance, you get 3 minutes. That's been the rule since I've been here. So, like I said, I don't make the rules. We
Did
just
you
follow
do a clock?
What's that?
How much time did it take?
Sir, you sat down. I turned.
See, I didn't use it.
You were before your 3 minutes. What is it you wanted to add?
Thank you very much. Traffic calming, I think you should look at it and save you a lot of money. If you do the math, and I've talked with several people, everybody agrees. Speed humps, I don't know if they're having speed humps or not, but instead of speed humps, if you use 3-way stops, people slow down. The stop. It helps the traffic instead of having these speed bumps that beat up your car and cause oil to drip off and gets in the water. And it's ridiculous. If you did 3-way stops everywhere, cheaper.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Blaise Wanamaker, St. Pius X Catholic High School. First and foremost, thanks for not 100% denying our variance request. I do ask, obviously from the public hearing, some advice on what we really could do for, to make peace with our neighbors. Obviously, I heard some of the complaints. Those complaints I don't really have a lot of control of, but I'm more than willing to do whatever we can. I've already met with a number of the neighbors to try to do that. Do you have any more kind of insight on exactly what we can and should not do to try to make peace with those neighbors?
Yeah, if you can stick
Okay.
around after the meeting.
Okay, that'd be great.
Brian may talk with you about it or some other
Because we asked for a variance request for lighting, not for a lot of the things that came up. So I just need to know what I need to do. So I'd be happy
Right.
to make that
We
happen.
can
Awesome.
discuss
Thank
that
you.
after the meeting. Thank you. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right. Do we have an executive session this evening?
We do not.
Anyone want to go home?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Very good. Motion is second to adjourn. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. We're out of here. Thank you all for coming out tonight.